Welcome back to the channel, everybody. I am Mick Alfani. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And if you could, please click that like button, turn it into a rocket, and send it into the stratosphere. I want to explain. We're going to dig a little deep here. This is from stellar.org. And with Stellar, working with so many central bank digital currencies, we've covered this extensively on the channel, I might add. This is why so many people are going to be stellar millionaires. In my opinion, I am not a financial advisor. However, based upon all of the data, all of the facts, there's going to be a lot of stellar millionaires. There's enough money to go around too. There's going to be XRP millionaires, stellar millionaires. There's already XRP millionaires, stellar millionaires. There's enough money to go around when it comes to quadrillions of dollars. But we're going to go deep. I want to take a look at surge pricing and a little bit of other things. Let's get into this. This is from developers.stellar.org. We're going to tear this to pieces momentarily. Surge pricing. When the number of operations submitted to a ledger exceeds network capacity, currently 1,000 ops/ledger, the network enters surge pricing mode. Let's just take that little piece. The price is going to go up. When surge pricing kicks in, the price is going to go completely parabolic, insane. All right. Now, what are banks going to want to do? Banks are going to want priority. So they are going to have a greater number of lumens. We're gonna cover that with the next piece. They're going to explain why. It says, which uses market dynamics to decide which submissions are included. Essentially, submissions that offer a higher fee per operation make it onto the ledger first. So you have one bank with a $10 million transaction. You have another bank with a $2 million transaction. That bank with the $10 million transaction, even if it was bundled together, right? No one would know. It would be on a private ledger. But even if it was they were bundled transactions together at $10 million, right? They would have priority. So what does that tell other banks? It tells other banks, hey, listen, we need to make our transactions more substantial so we have priority. They will have no problem doing that. Why? Because they're saving so much money, cutting out the middlemen by using Stellar. They're cutting out the middlemen, saving billions of dollars a year. Okay, that's number one. And number two, they're going to make sure their transaction is going through every single time at max speed with max security. Keep that in mind. Let's go. So, but before we go to the next section, what does that do for Lumen's price? It's going to make Lumen's price skyrocket. It's going to make people theoretically make millionaires out of so many of us. Ah, muy linda, mi gente. Oh, mi gente. Oh, this is quite delicious. Let's continue. Essentially, submissions that offer a higher fee per operation make it onto the ledger first. If there's a tie, in other words, multiple transactions that offer the same base fee. This is why base fees, when it comes to CBDCs, is going to be just null and void. No one's going to have the base fee when it comes to central bank digital currencies. They're all going to try to pay the max because, like I said, they won't mind doing bigger transactions. They're cutting out the middleman, saving billions of dollars. Remember, they're moving around quadrillions of dollars. Billions are nothing to them. They won't mind. So base fees will be null and void. No one will work at the minimum of lumens. Don't keep in mind the minimum of lumens. When you're talking about banks, they're not going to do the minimum. All right, let's continue on here. It's very interesting. In other words, multiple transactions that offer the same base fee are competing for the same limited space in the ledger, which means, like, it goes back to what I said before, they're going to be competing to have the higher transactions, or at least be hovering around that area so they can be at somewhere around the top and make sure their transactions are going to go through at max speed with max security. That's going to make Lumen's XLM price go completely insanely parabolic when this is up and running fully. Millionaires, people, millionaires, theoretically speaking. Anything can happen. I'm not a financial advisor, but this is what the data is saying. Okay, now let's go. The rest of the transactions, the ones that didn't make the cut, are pushed onto the next ledger where they're going to compete some more. So what they're saying is there's almost no way you lose. When we're working out of this system, they push it onto another ledger, it competes, and now it wins. So they see the positive gratification of their transaction having still gone through, even though there was a tie. Not that I believe that they would ever know that based upon the functionality of the ledger. However, it going through at max speed, max security is going to make them want to continue to not only use the system, but recommend it to others, which has already been happening, by the way, without the full utilization of the system. They've already been recommending it. The oldest bank in Europe, has been working on the Stellar Ledger to build a central bank digital currency, and they have been pushing, we know, through Christine Lagarde, they have been pushing the agenda of having central bank digital currencies, which is good for us because it's going to make a lot of us millionaires, some of us billionaires. Some of you are holding more lumens than I am, and I'm proud of you. We're going to be filthy, but deliciously rich. Muy linda. Let's go. The rest of the transactions that didn't make the cut are pushed onto the next ledger or discarded if they've been waiting for too long. I don't believe that's going to happen. Not with banks. They're talking about, when they talk about something like that, it's more of retail investors and small businesses on a lesser level where there will be a tie that's unbreakable. Central banks will have no ties that are unbreakable because their money is so long that it is, I believe, a theoretical impossibility that there should be a tie that is unbreakable. They just pay a little bit more and their transaction will go through, and they save a little bit more. They pay a little bit more and they save a little bit more. See how that works? And they get the benefit of always having priority. Perfect system. This is a genius system. Let's continue on. The goal of transaction pricing specification, which you can read in full here, is to maximize network throughput while minimizing transaction fees. I just said that. Maximizing network throughput, which means every transaction can go through. That is a prioritized transaction, and banks are going to want that, which equals to us having filthy amounts of money in our pockets. And minimizing transaction fees, they're going to be saving millions and billions of dollars. They're going to love the system and want more of it. And that makes holders of XLM future millionaires, theoretically speaking. Going by Occam's razor, the simplest answer is usually the correct one based upon all the data. That would mean that we are future millionaires. Let's continue on. This is from github.com/stellar. And this is a piece of the abstract here. It says, goal of the updated designs to maximize the number of operations included in a candidate transaction set. Let me read that again. To maximize the number of operations. So there's so many operations going on, so many transactions going on. What does that do to the lumen price? You need lumens to provide the necessary friction to have that maximum speed. And the more lumens that they're using, the more the price is going to go up. Like, I know I'm going around in a circle, but it's for a reason, to show you that everything leads to that price at some point. As long as Stellar continues to do their job, seal some of those deals, sign those memorandums of understanding that lead to long-term contracts, the money is going to get delicious. We're going to be drooling so much from all of the delicious nature of the money that there's going to be pools of salivation everywhere. Okay, let's continue on here. Fairness in how transactions are included in a candidate set is equivalent to designing a sorting scheme for the list of transactions before trimming. Accounts have the same odds of having their transactions included regardless of the distribution of transactions per account and regardless of how many transactions are picked from the sorted set. Let's continue a little bit further. I was going to stop there. Transactions with a higher per operation fee have a strict advantage. Notice the wording. They're very, very meticulous in their choosing of words. Have a strict advantage over lower fee transactions. Leads back to what I said before. This means my interpretation was correct. The more a transaction is, the more of a fee it generates. The higher the priority, has strict advantage. CBDCs on Stellar are going to make that price explode, go insane. I mean, I believe I can stop there. Now that you have that information, what are you going to do with it? You've seen the price of Stellar going up. It's looked beautiful. It's been hovering around 60 cents, I believe, 61 cents. Just floating there, just waiting to go absolutely insane. And this is without the functionality being utilized by institutions. We've already seen wonderful gains. And what's to come is so, I believe, what's to come is so epic for us holders of Stellar Lumens. Now, there's some people that don't want to hold you. Take your profits. That's perfectly fine. I'm not against anything. If you're making money, I am very, very proud of you, okay? But I am a holder of Lumens, all right? And us holder of Lumens, what's in store, what's to come is so epic, I believe, that it's going to be mind-blowingly parabolic. And at these prices, I believe that wise beings, this is not financial advice, but I believe that wise beings would load up on Stellar at these lower prices before it goes insane, thus making yourself rich in the future. In my humble opinion, theoretically, all of the data points to that. I am not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice, but I know what I hold. I know what I'm going to be doing, and I am very, very excited and very, very happy. So I just wanted to delve into that to just support the reasoning behind Stellar Millionaires are imminent. Oh, they are imminent. And some people are very close to being millionaires already, but Stellar Millionaires are imminent. Now that you have that information, what are you going to do with it? Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And if you could click that like button, I would appreciate that. Turn it into a rocket and send it into the stratosphere. Just remember to take all your Stellar millions with you. And until next time, let's get to the money.